Thank you for my coming to my world history notes and participating today. I'm going to discuss the book I wrote to teach homeschoolers. A Bible Believer Looks at World History, which you can purchase on Lulu, Amazon.com, or the Bible Baptist Bookstore, or just follow me here. So we're going to talk about giants today. This is after the flood of Noah. Some things that just, you know, just so you have an idea of of the topic. So, speaking of giants, there have been some interesting finds reported. These are all highly controversial and often do not find their way into the typical science textbook. But in physical anthropology courses in college, anthropology was my own major and degree in my bachelor's days, you may find them mentioned briefly. I'll be glad to give you more information on this subject. You can just type in giant human remains in your browser and read various websites, taking them all as interesting, but not believing wholly until you have investigated the sources for yourself. Once again, do not be deceived just because someone uses the word God, quote, the Bible vindicated, etc., etc. Some claims are outright lies, and some are just wishful thinking. But for the percentage that are true, a great many questions about the cherished theory of evolution are raised. Joshua's campaign of conquest starts at Jericho, the Israelites already having defeated kingdoms on the other side of Jordan. Previously, Og, the king of Bashan, a giant, was destroyed along with his people. It seems that it is important to remember the words, and also after that, quote, of Genesis 6:4 to understand what type of things might be going on here. Flavius Josephus, the noted Jewish historian of the first century AD, described the giants as having, quote, bodies so large and countenances so entirely different from other men that they were surprising to the sight and terrible to the hearing. And he adds that in his day, the bones of the giants were still on display. I would add that there are so many reports of giants being found in graves representing a civilized people that these cannot wholly be discounted. And based on the evidence alone, regardless of your interpretation of it, has to bring questions into mind of what reason people have for denying the Bible account that there were populations of giants active in the days of Moses and Joshua. Remains have been found all over the world in grave sites and other places of people, uh, uh, sometimes in groups of 7 feet tall to as much as 12 feet tall. Even if you discount 90% of these accounts as myth or fabrication to make a buck, the remaining 10% would make you think that more investigation would be enlightening. Quoting from one source about giants, and I quote, in 1936, Larsen Cole, the German paleontologist and anthropologist, found the bones of gigantic men on the shore of Lake Eliassi in Central Africa. Other giant skeletons were later found in Hava, the Transvaal, and China. The evidence for the existence of giants is incontrovertible. A scientifically assured fact, says Dr. Louis Burkholder. Burkholder was writing in 1950, but of course, being the good scientist, he believed that giants were the result of mutations caused by the emission of infrared rays. This seemed more plausible to him than the Bible account, even though the overwhelming majority of mutations do wind up killing the organism mutated. Unfortunately, this is the line of thought made famous by Harvard paleontologist Jay Gould in his hopeful monster theory of what he called punctuated equilibrium, where evolution made rapid changes due to sudden mutations. We're going to continue with the story of Joshua and some questions about secular history and traditional dating next. And we'll stop there. And I hope you get something to think about and look forward to talking to you again.